Rosin is made from the sap of the pine tree and also from other conifer trees. It has a wide application in cosmetics, cleaning products, things like shoe wax, paper making. It's even used by ballerinas on their shoes. On a violin bow, it helps to create friction between the bow hair and the string so that to create the sound. So that's why it's used on the violin. When you first buy a bow, it will have no rosin on it, so it will not make a sound when you draw it again, when you draw it across the violin strings. So the first thing you need to do is to apply rosin. The rosin will come like this, it will look all shiny. You need to roughen it up with a piece of emery board or a piece of sandpaper so that the powder comes off a little bit, because otherwise it won't work. And then the next thing you do is you tighten up the bow hair and put your thumb over the metal strip here, so that when you apply the rosin you don't break it when you actually move it up and down. Then you apply rosin like this in small movements all the way up and down the bow for about, between 5 and 10 minutes. It takes a while. You can actually use a dry, clean toothbrush to spread the rosin throughout the hairs if you want some really good coverage. So after you've applied the rosin, it should work fine. There are light coloured rosins and there are darker coloured rosins. Most violinists prefer light coloured rosins or amber. So here is an example of a light one, and here's an example of an amber one. You can also get darker coloured rosins like this one and black rosin. Viola players and cellists usually use the black rosin. So what's the difference? Well, the light coloured rosins are a bit harder and they don't create as much dust, but they need applying more often. The darker coloured rosins, I think, make a slightly darker sound. They create more dust, but you need to apply them less frequently. You can also buy hypoallergic rosin if you are allergic to the dust that's created from rosins. Apparently some people are allergic to the dust. The most popular type of rosin that I've come across is this one. It's the amber one, but I think that's because it's cheap. You'll be surprised at what difference the rosin makes, actually. If you get a good quality rosin, it will make quite a big difference to the sound of your violin. You can also get rosin that matches the type of strings that you have. I have Piastro Obbligato strings on one of my violins, so I'm using the rosin, which is a fairly, it's a medium to dark coloured rosin. It's very good, it matches very well, works very well, and you can look up the make of your string and see if you can find a rosin that matches if you want to. One of the most popular brands of rosin used at the lighter end is Melos. It comes in a lovely cork container. I haven't got one, but some violinists really like that one as well. How often should you apply rosin? Well, it does depend a lot on what kind of rosin you have and how much you practice. If you practice about 10 to 15 minutes a day, you will probably only have to apply it once a week, unless you have a very light coloured rosin, twice a week perhaps. If you practice more than 2 hours a day, then the likelihood is that you'll have to apply it every time you practice. When you have finished practicing, make sure that you use a cloth to wipe off any rosin that might have landed on your bow stick.